What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Block is Hot. Today is Saturday, which means we're going over this week's CNFT market update. Now, I want to start off by saying that it was my friend's birthday today, and he came into town and he visited, and I had some friends over, and I'm not 100% sober right now. So I still needed to get out this video because I know a lot of people care about these CNFT weekly market updates, and I was like, I need to get this done. So I'm taking a pause from everything and I'm making this video. But just realize, guys, that it doesn't necessarily mean that everything I'm going to say is 100% accurate. So just take that into consideration, okay? Not everything I'm going to say is 100% accurate. Make sure you're doing your own research. This is not investment advice in any way at all. This is just me making an opinion on this stuff of what I think things are going to happen. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. As always, guys, we like to start with the overall market volume. And the big thing that you guys have to realize here is that volume is still a lot lower than it was in February or last month. And this is actually the same situation regardless of what chain you look at. It doesn't matter if it's CNFTs, it doesn't matter if it's Ethereum, it doesn't matter if it's Solana. All of these NFTs have been experiencing a lot less volume. CNFTs in particular, we're hovering around that 2 million ADA every day, and now we're looking about 1 million ADA. This week in particular, we actually dropped even lower and got to just under a million, about 987,000, 726,000, 781,000, and then we actually had a pretty nice pop off over the last couple of days where we were hovering over 1 million ADA. Like I said in the previous videos, we have to understand and accept this as a reality. We go through cycles, guys, and if you actually look at all of these different other chains, CNFTs have actually held a lot better than the other ones. Like if you look at Ethereum, we're about a fourth or a third of the volume of Ethereum NFTs this month than we were last month, and the same thing goes with Solana. So even though we're about 50% of where we were at with CNFTs, it's honestly impressive that we've held prices as much as we have, and once again, we just have to adapt with the market and change our strategies. Once again, this is a time where I'm looking at blue chip CNFTs and I'm not minting as much stuff. The number one project this week was actually Spacebudz, guys, with 754,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, the reason Spacebudz have been going on an absolute tear and went from about 6,000 ADA floor to 7,200 ADA floor is because there is going to be a new season of Claybuds coming out soon. And if you don't know what Claybuds are, guys, it is the culmination of two of the top projects on the Cardano ecosystem. So these Claybuds look absolutely amazing. They look really cool. We actually had Rats DAO buy a ton of these guys, and they're currently going for 2,800 ADA. What's happening is if you have one of these Claybuds, you are guaranteed to get a 1 mint for every Claybud you own in this upcoming week when they drop the season 2 of these Claybuds. Now, the other way of getting into this is if you own a season 1 or season 2 Claymate, which is like the OG Claymate, or you own a Claybud, and that's why we've seen a recent push up. Now, this is a raffle, and I highly recommend that if you have a season 1 or season 2 Clay Nation, or if you have a Claybud, to make sure you go on their Discord and verify your wallet so that you can take part of this upcoming drop. Those Claybuds are going to do very well, and I do expect them to dip in the short term once that whole release happens and the whitelist or that access to the Claybud Season 2 is no longer available. Now, the situation with Spacebudz remains the same for me. I personally think that this is just something you hold for a long-term thing, but what is crazy here is we're at 7,200 and then we're jumping to 7,700, and then we go to 7,800 and then we go to 8,400. The floor is very, very weak with these guys. Like, this could literally pump very quickly if more people get into this. What my personal opinion is if you're already holding one of these, or if you're already own like a Clay Nation, to just take a part of that whitelisting and hopefully get that Claybud, or you can sell right now while the hype is high and then potentially buy back in if these do dip in this next week after that drop happens. Number 2 on our list today, guys, is Boss Cat Rocket Club with 691,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, these cats have actually been going on a pretty good pump pump recently, going from about 18 to 1900 ADA all the way to this 2100 to 2200 ADA mark. Now, there's two reasons this happened, guys. Reason number one is the Voxcat airdrop is going to happen this week. They are taking snapshots of wallets that are holding these cats from the 20th to the 22nd. And if you own at least two of these cats, and there's a couple other combinations, you're going to be able to get that Vox airdrop for free. Now, the second reason these went on a run is because Boss DAO. Now, Boss DAO actually bought over 60 of these cats recently, and they really swept the floor. As far as Boss DAO goes, though, guys, they only sold about a quarter of what they were trying to release. And honestly, I anticipated this just because they were asking for way too much ADA for the current market situation. But it is nice that they started sweeping these cats. I honestly think, in my opinion, they totally mistimed everything. I think that these cats are probably going to drop a decent amount once the 22nd is over and that whitelisting snapshot is no longer available. I can really expect these cats to dip all the way back down to that 1500 to 1600 ADA level unless Boss Cat Rocket Club just announces another crazy thing. Like, they're really good about announcing crazy stuff whenever the hype dies down and whatever things should be selling, like after this whitelisting or after these Vox cats. So we'll see what they do. But if they don't announce anything crazy, I really think these are going to drop down to that 1500 level again, and that would be a really good buy-in price. I don't think that these have dropped below 1500 for a while now. It's been at least 2 months. I remember when I first got in, they were around 700 and they went all the way to 2000 and then they dropped all the way to 1000 again or 1100 again. But since then, since January, it hasn't gone below that 1500 level. So if we do see that go to about 1500 sometime this week, then that would be a good long-term buy in my opinion. The next drop on our list today, guys, coming in at number 3 is Cornucopias GTI Javelins. Now, I was frustrated at the beginning when they were releasing another vehicle sale. I felt like that was too soon. But what these guys did, if you're not keeping up with this, is they actually gave everyone who was in the queue one of these GTI Javelins for free. So there ended up being like 12,400 people in queue, and every single one of them, besides 69 or 70 people that didn't have enough ADA in their wallet, but every single one of them got one of these GTI Javelins for free, which is an absolutely dope move on their part. I really like this play, and I love how they were really thoughtful to all the people that were in the queue. I don't think they necessarily had to do this, but I'm not complaining, guys, because if you followed my video of upcoming CNFT mints, I told everyone here to make sure that you had as many wallets in that queue as possible. So I actually was able to get 22 wallets in queue, and I was able to get 22 of these Javelins for completely free. And I'm about to go over that a little bit more in the future of this video. Now, as far as where I think these are going, I have personally been buying these up like crazy. I think these are severely undervalued right now, and anything under that 80 to 85 ADA mark, I really think is a very good long-term purchase for this product. You're going to be able to race these. You're going to be able to rent them out. Like, this is a very up-and-coming game. The team is doing a very good job. Like, this is going to be one of the big metaverse projects, and I think scooping these up at this price, in my opinion, in a non-financial advice way, is a very good move. Some people worried that giving out all of those Javelins for free was really going to tank the price of these Cornucopias bubble jets, but I actually think it helped out the price of these jets. These were going for about the same price as before this drop, but they actually had a push up all the way to about 150 to that 160 range when this was announced that those were going to be free. The main thing is, guys, the main complaint about them releasing another vehicle is that, in my opinion, it was going to take money away from these bubble jets, and it was going to move those into those Javelins, and people would have their money locked up in those Javelins. But because they made it for free, it wasn't really taking money out of this project and into that other one. Now, yes, there are going to be people on the secondary that are buying those Javelins instead because they think it's a better price, but I actually think that this was helpful for this long-term project of these bubble jets. I think getting in right now is a decent long-term buy, especially since whenever we go to that 120 range, we have a decent bounce up just because that was the mint price, and there's some sort of psychology around that. However, that being said, I do think those javelins are the better buy right now over these Cornucopias bubble jets. Coming in at number 4, we have Pavia with 439,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, what's the situation with Pavia, guys? We're sitting at about 339. Basically, the situation is the same situation that I've been saying this whole entire time. I like Pavia. I love Pavia, actually. I think this is going to be a very good project. I think they're going to be delivering a lot in the future, and I think this is a good price. Could we go lower? Yes. What is my personal strategy? Keep dollar cost averaging into this project. Every time it goes down more, I buy another one. If this goes down to 320, I buy another one. If this goes down to 300, I buy another one. If this goes down to 280, I buy another one. If this goes down to 250, you guys get the deal. We have no idea where this market is going in the short term, but I am very bullish on Pavia in the long term. And I think this is a project that everyone should consider having in their portfolio, especially since it is the largest volume traded project on the Cardano ecosystem. And it is also the fact that this is the largest metaverse project on the ecosystem as well. So overall, like Pavia a lot. Coming in at number 5 and 6 on the list, guys, we have Boss Cat rocket parts as well as their planet. Now, as far as where I think these are going to go, the Boss parts are at 4,000 ADA and this real estate is at 325 ADA. I do think that these parts are going to take a hit in the next couple of days once that snapshot is done. I think these parts are going to go all the way back down to 3,000 ADA, and there's a chance that we could even break below that and go to that 25 to 2,800 ADA range. We'll see what happens though. Once again, guys, it's all dependent on whether or not they release some sort of big update, which they usually do, and they usually keep people from selling by announcing some sort of big update. If you have some of these now and you want to get the Voxcat, that's fine, but I'm personally a believer on selling the news, so I would probably sell it right now, but by the time I post this video, they're already going to be doing snapshots, and it's probably going to be too late. So by the time you're watching this, guys, you're probably too late to sell it, but most of the time, in the future, guys, I would be selling stuff before the actual stuff happens, because odds are if this Boss Cat rocket parts goes from 4,000 to 3,000, you would have to make at least 1,000 ADA off of those Vox Cats, and I personally just don't like those odds in order to be even. So if you weren't selling these parts and these parts do drop a lot, you were basically assuming that these Vox Cats were going to go over 1,000 ADA just to be competitive of you selling it right now. So in all reality, you would really have to be thinking that these Vox Cats were going to sell between 13 and 1,500 ADA for it to be worth keeping these parts rather than selling them on the news. So that's why most of the time, guys, if I'm making sense here, I sell the parts beforehand. I sell the stuff before the news. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later with the whole thing that happened with Benjamin's group. But most of the time you want to sell in the news, guys. Most of the time the new stuff coming out isn't going to outweigh the amount of money that you're going to lose from actually holding this stuff beforehand. So I do think we could see 3,000. Keep an eye on that. That might be a good time to get in, or that might be a time to pay close attention because we could dip even below that if they don't announce more news. As far as Boss Planet Real Estate, it's not really going to take as big of a hit as these parts. Maybe that District 5, I believe, that gives you the Vox Cats, maybe that drops a little bit. But besides that, I think the land is probably going to stay between this 300 and 320 ADA range for a while. Coming in at number 7, we have the Ape Society with about 300,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, these are trading for about 700 ADA, which is where we were at last week. Now, last week, I was actually saying that I think it was too high and that it would have a small correction. And that is actually what happened. We did go to 750 ADA first, and then we went all the way back down to about 600 to 650 ADA, and now we bounce back up to this 700 ADA range. Now, there is a lot of people that really just love the Ape Society, and I don't really know if we see below this 700 ADA price too much more. It really just seems that a lot of people are bullish on these. A lot of people are holding them. You have that metaverse coming out. You have all those different families with the different benefits. Like, there is a lot going on with this project. For me, I'm personally hands off with this just because it is a little expensive in my opinion. But if you own this project right now, I think the best thing you can do is just hold it and see where it goes. Number 8 today, guys, is Dead Pixels with 265,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, Dead Pixels currently has a floor of about 2,100 ADA. I have a very similar opinion to Dead Pixels as I do Spacebudz. This is a project that I think is going to do extremely well long term. This is a major blue chip project. They have a lot of stuff going on. And if you are buying into this project, it is a long-term investment. Now, one thing that was interesting that happened recently is they actually had these metapixels come out. You could get one of these collections or one of these collectible items for every dead pixel you had, and they were only 65 ADA. I was able to claim mine for that 65 ADA, and I did sell it for that 300 ADA range. Now, as far as these metapixels, I personally thought it was a better idea selling them right away, and I'm glad I did. You got to realize, guys, that it is saying that there are only 661 owners right now and 1,942 of these made. I haven't gone on Cardano scan yet, but you have to realize that there are 10,000 dead pixels. So that means a lot of people that own these dead pixels haven't even claimed their collectible yet. So I think there's just going to be increasing supply, and I think this is more of like a fancy item to hold rather than something that I really see doing really well in the future, just because the main utility is with these dead pixels. If you can claim a metapixel still, I would definitely get the metapixel, and as far as selling it or buying it, I would probably sell it right now still, even though it's had this recent dip. Or you can just hold it because it's pretty badass, honestly. It's honestly a cool thing to own, and if you're not looking to make money right away, then maybe this is something in the future people like a lot, and if dead pixels blow up, maybe these will go up a lot with it. Also, guys, I am very, very sorry about me slurring my words a little bit here, and this video not being as good as it usually is. Like, I'm really trying here. I just didn't make a video on Friday or Thursday, and I honestly should have made a video this morning, but I was in a meeting for 4.5 hours this morning, and that was the time that I was really expecting to make this video before everyone came over. So I just want to say sorry if I'm not like tip-top shape, but I'm still trying to get this video out here, and you know, give me a thumbs up in the video at least for that. Now, number 9 on our list today is World of Cardano parcels, and they have had 251,000 ADA worth of volume. World of Cardano currently has a 72 ADA floor if you have one of the pieces of land with more common characteristics, and if you also got a smaller plot of land. Now, I personally bought 2 of these pieces of land that weren't in the mint. I personally bought a 4 plot slot, and I also bought a magma piece of land as well, because I do like this project in the long-term situation, even though it's going under mint when you consider the public mint for 90 ADA and the pre-sale mint for 75 ADA. CNFT Jungle is a really good tool as far as like trying to sort some of this stuff and see what some of the prices are depending on the plot sizes. So for example, if you were able to get a 4 plot piece of land, they're actually going for 310 ADA, which is a really great dub if you got in at the mint price. And if you got a 9 slot, which was even rarer at 61 pieces of land, you literally were going to be able to sell this for about 2,400 ADA if people are buying it at that price. And I think a few people have actually been buying it at that price. You can also on CNFT Jungle go to the different characteristics here. So for example, I bought one of the magma pieces of land, and you can click on magma and see the floor price for these magma. I actually think I got in around like 260 or something like that, or it might have even been less than that. So that was a pretty good dub as far as that goes. I would definitely keep your eye on this project. I think picking up one of these pieces of land isn't a bad idea as far as a long-term investment, just because you are going to be able to get all of those different airdrops and benefits and white listings in the future for this project. And I do think that this project has a lot more hype and following and engagement and just honestly potential compared to a lot of these other metaverse projects out there. Last but not least, guys, at number 10, we have Blockowls with 189,000 ADA worth of volume. Now, these Blockowls just had their season 2, guys, and they had a run up all the way to about 300 ADA before this season 2 drop. These Blockowls now are going for about 190 ADA to about 200 ADA, and their new season that just came out, their season 2, is going for about 125 ADA when their mint price was around 110 ADA. I believe it was like 106 or 108. Now, I personally really like this project. I think the art looks good. I think the animations look really good, and I think as a long-term investment, this is a great play. I think that getting these season 1 owls under 200 is a really great great price. And I think getting these season 2 owls at this price is a really great price as well. We have to realize, guys, that so many people that had their season 1 started dumping it after they were able to get their season 2. And then all the people that got the season 2 that are trying to quick flip it and make a quick buck or get lucky on the mint are now all undercutting each other to try to make money off of that season 2. I personally bought like 6 or 7 of these block owls. I personally think the season 2 is a little bit more undervalued than the season 1, but I wouldn't mind getting one of each just in case in the future you are able to get into the different white listings or different benefits that they're going to offer. Now that the top 10 is done, let's go over some other projects that I personally have my eyes on or that have been making big moves recently. Project number 1, guys, Jukeboyz. And if this isn't the prime example of why I'm not minting anything right now, then I literally don't know what to tell you. This was a top project. They had a huge following. They had a lot of engagement. They had a lot of people in their Discord. They had people boosting stuff. I mean, this is a great looking project. These honestly look really nice. And guess what, guys? These were like 50 ADA and they're going for 34 ADA, and they have a 3% royalty on top of 2% from JPEG Store, so you're taking another 5% hit. It does not make sense minting stuff right now. It's unfortunate. I love minting stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's a big rush. I like getting really great rares, but it doesn't make sense financially to be minting anything right now unless it's like a 10 out of 10 guarantee. Like the whole NFT market is taking a hit, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that we have to change our strategy, guys. And I've been saying for weeks now, like we have to be very careful. Unless it's like a 10 out of 10 no-brainer project, I'm just simply not going to be going for it because most of these projects are going for mint or under mint. Don't get caught in this cycle of just wanting to mint stuff because you're bored. This is the time where we have some money on the sidelines to dollar cost average into some of these bigger projects. As far as price goes for these guys, maybe we get a bounce off of 30, or maybe we just keep going lower. For me, I'm being a little bit hands off on these guys. If they go as low as like 20 ADA, maybe I'll scoop some up as far as a long-term investment because I think they look really good. But this is just another reason of why I'm not minting stuff right now. Another project that I've been keeping a close eye on is the Smooth Yeti Mountain Club. They're currently going for about 200 ADA, and they had gone all the way from like 220 ADA all the way back down to about 180, and now we're at this 200 ADA range again. I'm personally very bullish on these Yetis long term. I've had a good feeling about them all the way since the mint price of 25 ADA, and I've been constantly buying these. I actually bought a decent amount more this week. I personally think that we could see a run up in this next month leading up to those parts drop. I think once those parts drop, those parts are actually going to do pretty well, and I think these Smooth Yetis are going to take a hit when that happens. If I'm just making some speculation of what I think is going to happen, I personally think that these Yetis are going to go from 200 to at least 300, potentially 350 to 400 leading up to that part drop, and then after the part drop, they're going to drop all the way back down to about 300 or 250 ADA depending on how high we go. But I definitely have my eyes on these guys. I think I have over 20 of them now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be selling some of them before that part drop, and then I'm going to be keeping a lot of them. The next project on our list today, guys, is Fun Plastic, which is formerly Benjamin's group. Now, this project took an absolute shit. These eggs were going for all the way upwards of 400 ADA, and then when it was announced that these are what they were going to look like, a lot of people got disappointed and they started selling these eggs, and these eggs absolutely crashed. This is a prime example, once again, of why I sell on the news rather than waiting for this stuff. I'm actually a total idiot, and I didn't sell my egg before this happened because I just wasn't paying attention, to be completely honest with you guys. And now that egg that I spent like 350 or 360 ADA on is now worth 170 ADA. Always sell on the news. That is going to be the most consistent and most confident approach to this, guys. And as far as how I feel about them, I think they look pretty cool, but they do kind of look like McDonald's Happy Meals toys. And it's not like to roast them or anything like that. Like, I think they're cool. I think they have their own specialty to it, but they kind of look like toys. And one of the things I realized in this drop is that doing mystery eggs is a surefire way of making a mistake because people are always going to be disappointed. Reality very seldomly lives up to expectation. Like, think about that for a second. Like, most of the time we have this crazy expectation of what's going to happen. And how many times do we hear, guys, lower your expectations, right? And now that doesn't mean lower your expectations in all things, because I personally have high expectations. But when it comes to NFTs, have low ass expectations because we just never know what's going to come out. Like most of the time, and I think in most scenarios, even if these looked a lot cooler, these eggs would have gone down because people always make up some crazy crap in their mind of what these are going to be. So big mistake on my part. I didn't listen to my cardinal rule, and this is just another reminder to myself to always sell on the news. Now, the next project, Clay Nation, they're currently at 1350, and they've actually been going on a decent run recently. I think these have been going on a decent run just because you need one of these to get part of the raffle for the Clay Buds, and I think these have been going on a run just because that Clayverse is going to be coming out soon. And I think that these are actually going to continue to go on a run over the next several months when that Clayverse comes out and you're able to get the different whitelisting benefits. I would definitely keep your eyes on these guys. This is definitely a blue chip project. I just have one of them that I'm holding long term, but I think this is a project that potentially is undervalued right now, which is crazy, especially with the market we're in. The other thing I'm looking at right now is Jarheads. Jarheads is at that 200 ADA range. These have been undergoing a massive sell-off. If you want to get in as a long-term investment and just hold the art and realize that this is something that can take off in the future, if Cardano NFTs take off, which I think undoubtedly will happen, then these could potentially be one of those big art plays that do exceptionally well. The last project I'm really looking at is Lazy Llamas, and they are at 300 ADA floor, which is pretty low for these guys. A lot of times when they get to this 300 range, I'll buy them, and then literally within a week or two, they'll go for 400 or 450. It's honestly crazy how often that happens. However, this time I'm not buying one, and the whole reason is because a lot of NFTs have been taking a big hit because a lot of money is going towards crypto because we have been pumping in crypto recently, and also it's one of those situations where like there's so much happening in the world that people really aren't thinking about NFTs. But I definitely have my eyes on these guys. If they go to like 250 ADA, you bet your butt that I'm going to be buying them because this is a team that is constantly delivering and adding new stuff. If I knew that they were adding something in the nearby future, I would definitely be scooping some of these up right now, but it doesn't look like from what I've seen that they're adding anything anytime soon. Now, what have I bought this week and what have I really been buying? Well, guys, I've been going absolutely stupid on these GTI Javelins. I have 48 in this one wallet, 22 of which I got for absolutely free from having 22 wallets in the queue. And I said in my upcoming CNFT video to have as many wallets as possible when it comes to these different queue-based drops. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but guys, level up what you're doing. You need to scale up if you're trying to make serious money in this. The more wallets, the better. I just so happen to get super lucky that they gave a free one of these to every single person that was in the queue. So I literally got 22 for free. I was able to get 9 commons, 9 uncommons, 2 rares, 1 legendary. And on my 22nd wallet, the 22nd wallet that I checked, I actually got a mythic, which was absolutely insane. I can't believe I was lucky enough to get one of these mythics. I was like, holy crap, dude, what are the odds of that? But regardless, if you see here, guys, I have 48 in this wallet, and I also have another 4 in this wallet, and I have another wallet that has like 10 of them in it. So I've been going absolutely ham. When the next day happened, when these had all come out for free, when everyone was panicking, when the market wasn't doing well, when no one had any skin in the game because they got it for free, I knew it was the perfect opportunity to absolutely hammer this project. And I was buying these up like crazy. I had 20 different wallets that all had ADA on it that I was buying these, and then I eventually had sent a lot of those javelins to this one wallet. So I ended up buying over 30 of them between 40 and 65 to 40 to 70 ADA for those commons. And I think for the uncommons, I was buying them anywhere from like 55, 60 ADA all the way to that 80 ADA range. I just think it's an incredible buy as far as a long-term goes. I mean, no one has their skin in the game that got these javelins. So being able to get these javelins with this situation like rarely happens. It's like, how often do you get a situation where all these people are dumping their free NFT that they got from a massive blue chip project? Like, it really doesn't happen too often. Now, in the short term, these could go lower. In the short term, they could go from 60 ADA all the way down to 50 ADA, and who knows if they go even lower. But I'm telling you guys right now that this is a project that I'm very bullish on in the long term, and this is a project that every time they get to that 50 ADA range, I'm going to be buying more and just holding for the long run. I really think in the future, when the game comes out, when the utility comes out, that these are going to do exceptionally well, and this is where I've been putting a lot of my time and energy into this week. Besides these javelins, I really haven't been buying too much. I got a couple pieces of this World of Cardano land. Like I said, guys, I was able to get one of those magma pieces of land for like 240 or 250, I believe, and then I was able to get a 4 plot, and I honestly have no idea what I paid. I also got 2 of these Cornucopias bubble jets for around this 130, 135 range. So I'm about a broken even. If I sold them right now, I'd actually be taking a loss. But I think after those GTI javelins were free, I was like, let me buy some more of these bubble jets, because I did sell all 15 of mine after they announced the GTI javelins, because I was like, what the hell, guys? I bought some more Yetis too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I bought 8 more Yetis this week, because I do believe that Yetis are going to do well in the long term and in the short term. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, I really didn't buy too much. I put my Spacebudz in this wallet. I'm about to bring my Clay Nation over into this wallet too, and I'm hoping that I can get into that Claybud raffle, but the odds are pretty low. And yeah, that literally sums up what I've done this week. I really haven't done too much besides just go ham on these GTI javelins and some of those other plays that I told you about. That pretty much sums up this week's video though today, guys. I'm sorry if it wasn't as good as a normal video. I hope you guys can forgive me for next Saturday. I really just wanted to get this out there, and if I had made a video on Thursday or Friday, I probably wouldn't have made a video today when I was a little bit intoxicated, but I was like, you know what, man, like, I gotta give the people what they want. I've got to get the people what they want. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please join the Discord. And I hope everyone here has an awesome day.